Economists generally assume that consumer behavior follows a straightforward math equation. When a recession hits and paychecks shrink, spending is supposed to drop right along with them. We see this logic play out in the big-ticket markets first. People immediately cross major purchases off their list, postponing the down payment on that new luxury car or canceling a planned European vacation. But that is where the predictable math falls apart. We don't actually close our wallets completely when times get tight. We actively look for other ways to spend the money we do have. The budget previously earmarked for a car or a vacation gets redirected into smaller, more accessible indulgences. Suddenly, dropping cash on an overpriced premium latte, a cheap night at the movies, or a brand new video game feels incredibly appealing. This raises a fascinating question. Why does financial scarcity trigger a sudden compulsion to buy premium treats right when saving money should be our top priority? What you are experiencing is the income effect. Falling incomes dictate how much we can spend, but they also completely rewrite the underlying psychological intent behind every item we drop into our carts. Economist Juliet Schor first documented this specific behavior in her 1998 book, The Overspent American. While studying past economic downturns, she noticed a repeating quirk in the data. Even as household budgets shrank across the board, spending in certain highly specific categories consistently spiked. Schor realized people facing financial stress were desperately trying to hold on to a sense of normalcy. Because they couldn't afford a massive splurge, they compensated by purchasing small moments of self-care to escape the pressure. Instead of an expensive car, consumers bought a tube of premium lipstick. This exact substitution became so predictable that the financial world now refers to this entire behavioral pattern as the lipstick effect. There is also a highly pragmatic strategy driving these purchases. People actively spend more on cosmetics and personal care to artificially boost their confidence, hoping that looking the part will give them an edge in a tight competitive job market. The physical item doesn't actually matter. A fancy coffee or a high-end moisturizer is simply the price of admission for a momentary psychological escape from a stressful macroeconomy. When millions of individuals make that exact same psychological swap at the exact same time, it jolts the entire corporate landscape. High-end luxury retailers are the first to feel it. As massive purchases are postponed, sales floors empty out and panic sets in across luxury boardrooms. But right down the street, different businesses start thriving. Fast casual restaurants and premium makeup brands like Estee Lauder watch their sales climb upward as they absorb all that redirected spending. Look at this chart. As the economy enters a shaded downturn, the high-end luxury trend plummets, crossing a rising trend for small luxuries. The massive capital volume feeding luxury markets fragments, splintering into tiny transactions that flow straight into the small luxuries market. The lipstick effect takes a highly personal coping mechanism and scales it up, triggering a predictable multi-billion-dollar reallocation of capital across the global economy. Because this pattern is so reliable, economists and financial analysts frequently try to use lipstick and cosmetic sales as a real-time early warning system to predict incoming recessions. There is a major flaw with that approach. The U.S. Bureau of Economic Analysis only releases the tracking data for these small purchases on a quarterly basis, meaning the numbers arrive far too late to be useful as a real-time indicator. And this behavior has a breaking point. When a mild recession shifts into a severe crash, the entire spending structure violently cracks. When conditions deteriorate from general stress into pure survival mode, people can no longer afford to prioritize normalcy. Even the cheapest minor indulgences have to be eliminated from the budget entirely. So the next time your budget gets tight and you find yourself oddly compelled to buy an overpriced coffee or a new skincare product, step back and recognize the income effect at work. Treating yourself to a small luxury during hard times is perfectly fine, but understanding the psychological trigger behind that purchase is how you keep a harmless coping mechanism from turning into a destructive financial spiral.